did not kill her.
I did not kill her.
I didn't kill her.
not kill her.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Welcome back everyone to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today I'll be reviewing the series Presumed Innocent. I will be talking about this in a non-spoiler fashion, so don't worry about that. Before we get started though, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, helps me out a lot, it's free to do so. I'm going to read you guys a quick plot description just so you know what the show is about. A horrific murder upends the Chicago prosecuting attorney's office when one of its own is suspected of the crime. So Presumed Innocent has now finally come to an end. Its first season has now finished. All 8 episodes are on Apple TV Plus right now. And, you know, I will say, before we get into this review, I have never read the Presumed Innocent book or watched the Presumed Innocent movie with Harrison Ford. I kind of went into this show blind on the whole story, partly because I didn't know those existed, and the other part, if I did know those existed, I'd probably just wanted to watch the show and find out how the mystery unravels by itself. And actually, this isn't a spoiler, but the ending in this show is different from the ending in the book. So if you've never read any of them, you'll basically not know what I'm talking about. But those are kind of different. So they do have their differences. I heard from someone who did read the book. But there is some very entertaining stuff in the show if you enjoy a good mystery or a great courtroom drama, because both are present here in a big way, with the first half of the show kind of focusing on Rusty's family, who Jake Gyllenhaal plays, and kind of like the crime happening and seeing what happens to his family because of that. And the second half basically transitions to the scene of the crime and the courtroom, them trying to figure out if he actually did the crime and what's going to happen with him at that point. So they're both present and they're both made and done very well. And I personally have been a fan of courtroom dramas and desperately want more of them. I'm honestly so excited for season 2 because they actually did announce a season 2 just a couple of weeks ago, which is very exciting. Don't know how long it's going to take them to make that because Jake Gyllenhaal is probably pretty busy, but I'm very excited for season 2 because Apple is known to put out, you know, great show after great show after great show, but sadly almost no one watches them. The online chatter about Apple TV shows has kind of dwindled down ever since Ted Lasso ended. Severance hasn't come back for like 3 or 4 years. They're finally coming back this year, so you know they're gonna have a little bit more chatter come the end of this year in like November, December. I think that's when Severance comes out. But I do recommend people to subscribe to Apple. I mean, it's cheaper than most of the streaming services, and it has some very high quality shows. A lot of shows that I haven't even watched. I heard Shrinking is very good. I watched that one, and Silo is one I have to watch. I heard people love that one, but I think that Presumed Innocent is basically enough to subscribe for at least a month to see how you like it, because it's 8 episodes, and just like House of the Dragon this year, they're both having a great run with their 8 episodes. You know, they're very entertaining. Each episode in Presumed Innocent is very entertaining. Does a good job with ending you on a cliffhanger with almost every episode, trying to lure you back into the next week. Like after every single episode ended on this show, I was like, oh my god, give me the next episode. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta wait a week. That's the trouble with these weekly episodes. You gotta wait so long, but they're doing a great job with, you know, making it so you want to come back every single week for, I think it was 7 weeks, because they launched with 2 episodes. I gotta say, more streaming services need to do that. I know they only have 8 episodes, but launching with 2 episodes to get you fully into this story, fully engrossed these characters, is the smartest thing to do. Apple does it and Amazon does it. I think Disney Plus and HBO need to start doing that. I think it helps you really gauge if you want to keep going with the show and want to explore these characters even more. I think it's a great decision, and the writing and direction on the show was also fantastic. As I said, this is based off a book with the same name, but the writing and direction is still different in its own ways, with the ending, as I said, being different in the books. And I will say, I was on the edge of my seat multiple times while watching the series with not knowing the outcome, and I was shocked to say at the ending when we find out what actually did happen at the crime scene. That's all I'll say here. My big negative will probably be, you know, I guess it'll probably just be that it was 8 episodes. I kind of wanted to explore the family a little bit more, Rusty's family a little bit more, and kind of before the crime happened. I think I want to explore that a little bit more. So I think if they tacked on like 4 more episodes, you get to see before, you know, relationships before the crime happened in this specific show. I think that would have been a little bit better. That's only a minor negative for me. There's a great ensemble with this cast, of course, Jake Gyllenhaal leading it. He nails the role of Rusty Savage. I think that he really did bring in one of his best performances to date on the show. I don't know if he's done a lot of television yet, but is this his first major television show? I don't really, you know, watch his television if he did do a lot here, But I was really just engrossed with his character in here, and how he struggles with so much in this show, and just the way he's bringing his performance to life, the way he's bringing the script to life. He has one major monologue in the last episode that truly nailed it for me. I was like, really, this guy needs to be nominated for some awards next year, because he's not going to be nominated for the Emmys this year because they already announced nominations. But hopefully next year, if they don't forget him, it's at the end of it's at the beginning of kind of like the next year's Emmy nominations, what would qualify. So hopefully they don't forget about him, because I think he deserves some awards for this. He really did give an electric performance. And Ruth Negga, who plays his wife Barbara here, I thought that she was also great. I only really know her from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as, that one porcupine character. I forgot that character's name, but I thought she was great here. They both play off each other, kind of like fire and water in a way, because they're kind of opposites at sometimes, because that's the point of the show. They argue a lot because of the situation that they're in, but they also find truth in the middle and come out of it in an interesting and kind of better way. I was also impressed by Chase Infinity, who plays their daughter Jaden. This is her first ever acting credit on IMDb, so good for her for turning in a great performance and stealing some scenes away from Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought that she was a big part of the show and a big part of why it was great. Bill Camp and Peter Sarsgaard also have great scenes and great performances here, and kind of lead the courtroom proceedings in a major way, so I also like their performances here. But as I said, the whole ensemble here is great. So overall, Presumed Innocent is one of the best shows of the year for me. I think it's like top 5 of the year for me. I've seen like 16 shows so far this year, but I was just so engrossed in the show, so engrossed in the writing. I thought every single episode just was really great, had some great pacing, and ended you on a great cliffhanger to want you to come back even more. Jake Gyllenhaal turns in one of his best performances to date. The mystery and courtroom part of this show just made me fall in love with it, and as I said, the ending shocked me. Don't get it spoiled for you, watch the show right now, but Presumed Innocent, I'm going to give it a strong 9 out of 10. I truly did love this show, and I can't wait to rewatch it. I guess maybe next year or later this year when I start rewatching shows for my end of the year list, because this one did stand out. It's a very great 8-episode show. Can't wait for season 2. Hopefully begin filming that soon. But if you've seen Presumed Innocent, leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. If you did enjoy my review though, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out a lot. It's free to do so. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.